So New Orleans, as usual, rolled out the red carpet for visitors from all walks of life as they came from near and far to check out the big game and to take part in the festivities that only New Orleans can offer. And the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs went head to head at the Caesars Superdome, and the Eagles were just dominant from start to finish, handling their business, beating the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. So Jalen Hurts completed 17 out of 22 passes for 221 yards. He had 2 touchdown passes and an interception. And he had 11 carries for 72 yards, and he had a rushing touchdown. And Jalen was named the MVP of the big game. So Jalen handled his business in this game. Saquon Barkley, he only had 25 carries for 57 yards, and he had 6 catches for 40 yards. Saquon had his moments, but Jalen, as far as offensively is concerned, he carried the Eagles on the offensive side, making the big throws when necessary, also using his athletic ability to the fullest, helping the Eagles either get in great field position to get touchdowns or to help Jake Elliott kick field goals. Jalen did that and then some, earning him the MVP of the big game. So while Jalen handled his business on the offensive side, I mentioned earlier about Saquon, also Devontae Smith. Devontae had a big play, scoring a touchdown in this contest. He finished with 4 catches for 69 yards. A.J. Brown, 3 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. Jahan Dotson, 2 catches for 42 yards. And Dallas Goedert, 2 catches for 27 yards. So not just Jalen and Saquon with a contribution to the Eagles offense, but also to Devontae, AJ, Jahan Dotson, especially early on in the game, that set the tone for the Eagles to get their first touchdown of the contest. And then Dallas Goedert was big early on in the game, but offensively, those gentlemen contributed. And also making a big contribution in the big game was the Eagles offensive line. You talk about Landon Dickerson, you talk about Lane Johnson, also Cam Jurgens, Mekhi Becton, also Jordan Mailata. Boy, those gentlemen did a great job of pass protection and also doing some decent run blocking when necessary. Saquon had his moments, but man, that pass protection was phenomenal. They did a great job of protecting Jalen, and certainly the Eagles offensive line, what they did to the Chiefs defensive line was just ridiculous, and they just beat them from pillar to post. And as far as defensively is concerned, the Eagles, they earned their stripes during this past season. The number 1 defense in the NFL, and they played like it because Patrick Mahomes, he didn't have an answer. Every time he tried to get his feet set, blitzes were coming. The Eagles defensive line, the front 4, were coming to Patrick fast and furious. The Chiefs offensive line could not pick up the blitzes. As a result of that, Mahomes was sacked 6 times in the contest. Also, Cooper DeJean scored an interception return touchdown. Zach Bond had an interception in this contest. Milton Williams had a couple of sacks. Also, Josh Sweat had 2.5 sacks in this contest. Jordan Davis had a sack in the game. Man, they had Patrick looking flustered, dazed, and confused. I think the last time Patrick played like this in the big game was Tom Brady's first year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it was the same situation. Tampa's defense, they left Patrick flustered. And in this big game, Philadelphia's defense, they left Mahomes flustered. He had nowhere to go. I mean, he danced all night long. He had no room to make reads. He didn't have an opportunity to try to get his bearings down where he could make reads and try to find passing lanes to get first downs. You would have thought when Philadelphia had that big lead at halftime that after the performance by Kendrick Lamar, a lot of people were thinking, and I was thinking too, I said, okay, well, we'll see a great game. We'll get the Mahomes magic in the second half. We did not get that. It was We didn't get Mahomes magic. It was more like Eagles domination, not just continuing on offense, but it definitely continued on the defensive side. So, Patrick, not a great game. Travis Kelsey, we don't know what his future holds. It's a strong possibility that he may hang it up. You know, there's a lot of interest, including a certain person that he's currently dealing with in the dating world. And there's also a lot of other opportunities he's interested in, whether it be such as media, also acting and other business interests. So everything is it's gonna be an interesting offseason for Travis Kelsey. If anything, as far as Kansas City is concerned, Patrick Mahomes will be back in the mix. As long as they have Patrick, they'll be back in the mix. Also, too, they're gonna have to fine tune some things on the offensive line because the Eagles' defensive line just manhandled Kansas City. They had no answers on both sides of the football. So again, Jalen Hurts is the MVP of the big game, and he becomes the fourth black quarterback to win the big game. Of course, the first one to do it was Doug Williams, and then after that, it would be followed by Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, and then the fourth quarterback, Jalen Hurts. And also, too, Jalen Hurts becomes the third quarterback in history to win not only the big game, but also to win a national championship. The other two quarterbacks, Joe Montana and also Joe Namath. Those other two gentlemen, not only did they win a college football national championship, but they also would win the Lombardi Trophy as well. So Joe Namath, Joe Montana, and now the third quarterback is Jalen Hurts. So a fun time was had by everyone that came from near and far in the great city of New Orleans. Of course, the city of New Orleans ties the Miami metropolitan area now with 11 times that they have hosted the big game. And certainly, you know, New Orleans does it unlike any other, and certainly they welcome everyone from near and far. And certainly it was a great pregame show where you saw the Southern University Human Jukebox Marching Band. Also, Master P had an appearance. Also, you saw Harry Connick Jr. Also, the Pinettes Brass Band played as well, and it was just very festive. And then you had America the Beautiful sung by Lauren Daigle, and you also had Trombone Shorty assisting with that performance as well. And then you had Lettucey singing Lift Every Voice and Sing, and then New Orleans native John Baptiste sang the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem. That was a wonderful rendition of that. And then after that, there was the game, and Philly dominated in the first half, and then Kendrick Lamar, he did his thing as well. And then after Kendrick, the Eagles continued to do their thing, and they would do their thing, and they would march on to victory. So the party was felt on Bourbon Street, and the party will be felt on Broad Street as well as South Street as well. So they'll take the party from downtown New Orleans to South Philadelphia. And again, just a total outstanding performance by the Philadelphia Eagles, with the Eagles winning 40-22. So now going forward, what's going to happen for the 2025 NFL season? It is so early to tell, but you got to remember, it's never a dull moment in the NFL, and certainly the NFL never sleeps. The Eagles, believe it or not, they're not the overwhelming favorites to win the big one next year. Kansas City and Baltimore are already the two favorites that are expected to win the big game going into the next NFL season in 2025. Also, other favorites include the Eagles, also the Lions. You've also got Buffalo in the mix as well. So we'll see what happens with other teams and other contenders, but Philadelphia, they're going to be solid for the next 3 to 5 years. And as far as Kansas City, as I stated earlier, Mahomes, Patrick is going to be Patrick. He's going to be fine, but they're going to have to fine tune on defense and especially on the offensive line. But Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts got his contract extension a couple of years ago. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, same situation. Saquon Barkley's going to be around for the next 2 to 3 years. So I'd say the next 3 to 6 years, Philadelphia will definitely be a contender. Do they have the personnel to go back to back? That's a strong possibility. Defensively, a lot of the majority of those players are on their rookie contracts, like Cooper DeJean and Jalen Carter, just to name a few. So we'll see, man. But again, it's never a dull moment in the NFL. But right now, this moment belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. Once again, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22, and Jalen Hurts is the MVP. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.